Home is where connections are made, memories are formed, and ideas are born. And no one knows home better than NFM. Thanks for tuning in to I Am Home, the podcast that goes deeper than trends and dives into what it means to make your house a home.
Well, hi, neighbors. You're listening to I Am Home, the All Things Home Life podcast. I'm Tyler Weiskup, joined by my co-host who swaddles us every week in wit and wisdom. It's Becca Sudbeck.
Hi, Tyler.
Hi, Becca. And our other co-host is joining us as well. She's got a vibe that's smoother than a newborn babe. It's Hilary Waltemath.
Hey.
Hi, Hilary. If you haven't guessed already, our topic this episode is baby prep, and it fits really well with our theme of cozy comfort, because what's cozier than cuddling with a newborn on another sleepless night? I understand that that's a thing. Fingers crossed, though, that this episode is going to help. We've got an esteemed panel that I'm excited to introduce you to in just a minute, who's going to help us kind of walk through this topic. But before we get to them, let me tell you why we're even doing this podcast, and that's because NFM is more than just your everything home store. We're in the business of improving lifestyles because your home life should be your best life. And you can learn more at nfm.com. And again, our topic this month, cozy comfort. We're talking baby prep. I'm excited to introduce this panel to you. And I'm not going to belabor the point anymore. We've got Risa Sitzmann, Alex Scott, and Courtney Kaus. Hello, ladies. Welcome.
Hi.
So excited to have you all. And I'll introduce you really quickly. Risa, you're a longtime NFMer. You've been with us for 13 years, getting really close.
Yep, getting really close in October. I think it'll be 13.
13 years. That's incredible. And you're currently a part of our marketing team. You had your second baby. It's been just a few months.
Yeah, he's going to be 8 months in a week. So I thought about that today and got really emotional, but I tried to get it all out before this podcast.
Well, congratulations. I obviously you're going to offer so much. I know on a personal note, you love crocheting, and a fun fact that you gave us is you have a mirror twin. Yes. I just learned about this term. I've got my brothers are twins, but I didn't. Why don't you tell us what a mirror twin is?
Yeah. So, I mean, we're identical. She is a girl, so it's not fraternal, but we were born, so it looks like you're looking in a mirror. So I'm left-handed. She's right-handed. She's right-handed. Oh, I had to think about that for a second. And I'm like a little taller than she is. And so, yeah, it's basically just like looking in the mirror of yourself.
It's crazy. Yeah. So like when you move your hand, she's like also moving, but it's opposite.
Yeah. So like right now she's doing it wherever she is.
So crazy.
Yeah.
It's so nuts.
Yeah, but
she's so
it's
confused.
Interesting. Yeah. Yeah. There will be sometimes she'll reach out to me. She'll be like, hey, did you sleep well last night? Because I wasn't sleeping well. So we like talk still like to each other like that sometimes.
That's amazing.
Okay. We also have Alex. You've been with us 2.5 years. You're currently in visual merchandising.
Yeah.
And you've always been kind of connected to our youth and baby departments. You even worked in childcare in the past.
Yeah.
You've got 2 little boys. And Alex, one of the things that you mentioned was like speech therapy for the kids. Are both of them in speech therapy? One of them, like what's the...
No, so my youngest, he has autism. Okay. And so we do speech therapy. We do, we just started occupational therapy. And so all of that stuff, it's fun.
Yeah. I bet there's a lot to that. And a lot of, one of the things that I think that is important for us to talk about is just like some of the specific scenarios that parents get into. So I think that there is certainly going to be a lot of specific things that you'll be able to provide to this panel. So thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Okay. And then last but not least, we've got Courtney. You've been with us for 3.5 years, currently in vendor relations.
Yep.
You've got 2 young boys. Your family loves the outdoors, the hiking, the fishing, that kind of thing. And Courtney, you forced me to ask this by way of just simply mentioning it. You used to be a drummer in a rock band.
You betcha. Yeah. I used to wear the bandana. It was like the early, like before everybody had tattoos, you put on fake tattoos and
Nice.
You'd be out there just drumming your heart out. And there is one video in existence out there in the world of me drumming. and nobody will ever know who has it. So it was fun.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only thing I,
I
want
like
to
to
know
do
now.
that, you know.
Well, again, thanks to you all for being here. I really appreciate it. And again, I think this topic, we really want to kind of talk about the prepping for your baby coming home. And I feel like the best place for us all to start is essentials. So what are some of the must-have items for new parents when prepping for a baby? I know that's a wide topic, but I wonder if we all can kind of chime in on some of what you thought worked really well. Who wants to start?
I
Risa?
feel like it's probably fresher for you.
Yeah, I can definitely go first. I'm a big fan of Velcro swaddles. Those save me because I cannot swaddle with a blanket to save my life. The nurses in the hospital make it so easy. They're just like, shh, here you go. Here's your burrito. And when you're trying to do it in 3 a.m, 2 a.m, they would always bust out no matter how new they were. So Velcro swaddles were nice because they have Velcro pieces. So you just fold it over and you Velcro them, and they're in tight and good, and they don't bust out until they're older. And then at that point in time, you got to move them out of the swaddle anyway. So that is my I always recommend, and I always buy Velcro swaddles for any baby shower. It is a life changer, or it was for us.
Can I
Velcro
add that?
swaddles, yeah.
And get multiple kinds to try.
Yes.
Your kiddo, they might not like the first one that you get. There are lots of different options out there. Buy a few, go to consignment, get a couple to see what your kiddo likes, and then go stock up, because both of my boys, they like something different. And fun fact, I didn't know about those when I first had my 5-year-old. And we not only learned how to swaddle like they do at the hospital, but we had to learn like a stronger swaddle. And it was like a good solid couple months before we found out about Velcro ones. So tell your friends and have their friends tell their friends, and then tell their friends. That's a good one.
One to piggyback off of getting multiple, I would say that with binkies, bottles, get multiple. Some kids, like my first, didn't care at all, and my second was very, very particular about bottles, binkies, like which ones that he wanted. And
Yes.
Weird.
Yeah, babies can be picky.
They're all different. That's crazy. I thought they're little and they're the same.
They're just little potatoes. And also one thing that I also really found helpful is that they make these 3-tier, I think a lot of people will use them for like crafts and stuff, and it's like a 3-tier cart, rolling cart. And that is something that during the night or even just those first few weeks is so helpful, because you can put diapers, wipes, you can put any feeding stuff on there, you can put snacks for yourself. Like at nighttime, you can put the bottle warmer on it, and you just roll it around the house with you and the baby, and you have everything that you need. And that is something that I have 3 cousins who are, well, 2 of them are pregnant. One just had her baby, and that's always a baby shower gift, is one of those carts, because it's life-changing.
Okay, that might be the most brilliant thing I've ever heard, and I wish I would have known that.
Yeah, just roll it around the house with you. It makes it so convenient. So
one upstairs, one downstairs. Yeah, that's pretty clever.
Yeah.
Oh, awesome. So we've talked about swaddling. We've talked about something to contain all of the bottles, binkies, all the things that you need to bring along. Anything else that you would want to kind of mention as like essentials?
Frozen meals. That's also things that you wouldn't think about, because I feel like so many things that you think of as essentials are things for the baby, but then just things to make it easier to just live your life in those first few weeks or first few months, like frozen dinners, or like the little rolly cart, or all of those things, anything that will make it easier for mom and dad.
I like that. Good.
Yeah, that's a good yeah, I would agree.
One of the things that happens a lot to new parents is just like that feeling of being overwhelmed. And I wonder, with so many products, different kinds of products on the market, you've already kind of offered the tip of like being able to test things out. But any other advice for new parents kind of avoiding that overwhelming feeling about like getting all the things that they need prepping for a baby?
I mean, I think there's only so much prep that you can do. I don't know if it's one specific product that helps with the overwhelming feeling. I feel like that's more of community and connection with other moms or other parents, people, cousins, aunts, uncles, mom, dad, like all of those things that help the most when you're overwhelmed as a new parent.
I agree with that. And I remember getting very overwhelmed with my first kiddo who's 5, and I'm not on Instagram. I know I'm like hurting everybody's feelings here probably, but I'm not on Instagram. I'm not on Facebook. I'm off the social grid, right? And I still somehow got very sucked into all the things out there that people tell you have to have, and all this designer stuff and all these things. And you don't need all of those things. And if you try to just chase down every Instagram and Pinterest and all of those out there, you will overwhelm your entire house with all of the things. And you just got to talk to your community. I like how you said that. It really does take a village. Talk to other moms, talk to schools, talk to teachers, talk to whoever about what did their kiddos need and want, and just get the basics, love your kiddos, make sure they're fed, and you're pretty solid after that. It's easy to get overwhelmed and trapped though in all of it.
Yeah, I was looking at, I have a cousin's baby shower this weekend, and I was looking at a registry, and I was like, I didn't even that you would need all of these.
It's a lot.
These
You don't
things?
need all of it.
Yeah.
But a lot of it's helpful,
Okay.
but you don't need.
Like, how do you know? Like, this is her first, so how did she know what to register? Like, where do you even start if you're working on a registry?
Register everywhere?
Yeah.
Literally register everywhere, because a lot of places will also just give you like samples of things. And so it's like the same thing with like that not every kid is gonna like the same bottle or something. But if you register at Amazon, you might get a bottle from Dr. Brown's, or you might get a bottle from here if and so a lot of places when you sign up for a baby registry, they have little gifts or coupons or all of the little things for you. So register everywhere.
No idea.
I had somebody go to Target with me to start, and I just walked into a baby section and I said, I don't even know what the vast majority of these things are. Can you help me out? And she walked me through what she felt was a necessity and pointed out all the things that she said, you think you need this, but you don't. So walk away. And so that was really helpful just to even understand, like, what is this contraption? Because some of them looked like contraptions.
Right. I imagine like if you're going with a parent or family member that's now at like the age of like being a grandparent, like the changes between what they had and now I'm sure is vastly different. So like even consulting a parent may be irrelevant in some situations.
Yeah.
Do you guys, I don't know, this is something I thought was essential, and maybe they have something better, but like a nose Frida. I don't know if you guys,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah.
Those things, they sound disgusting. They kind of are disgusting, but when you are like getting no sleep and your baby can't breathe, it's like a lifesaver, I feel like. So I think that's essential.
Yes.
Do you want me to explain this?
Yeah, I thought you were using like a French term or something. I don't know.
Okay.
One of us probably has one in a bag.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I feel like we had 3 at one point, like one for each kid. So it's like a thing that suctions all the snot out of their nose.
Oh, cute.
I mean, I feel like they have those bulbs, but this nose Frida works like 1,000 times better. So when they're like awake and they can't breathe and they're crying all night, like you can get all the snot out of their nose, and you have to like stick it up their nose, and like there's like a
filter.
a filter,
Yeah, there is a
and like, but
filter.
you spot, like you put it in your mouth and like suction it out with your mouth.
It doesn't go in your mouth.
It doesn't go.
It will never make it to your mouth.
It
Yeah,
sounds
there
really
is a
disgusting,
filter.
but honestly, I feel like, listen, desperate times call for desperate measures.
I
So
would
I echo
advocate
this.
for those over the bulb thing.
yeah, the bulbs
Yes.
don't do anything, and
Yeah.
those get really disgusting. I
Mhm.
feel like
Yeah.
like,
Mhm. On the
inside
inside.
if you whatever.
So you
So
got like an immediately yes out of these 3. when you
yes,
brought that
nose
up.
Frida.
Yes. No,
And I
Frida
mean, they're
Boulevard.
not expensive. I don't know how much they are
They're
now,
like
but they
$10
were like, yeah, like
Yeah.
10, $15.
Wow.
Lifesaver.
You don't give them baby Zyrtec, and that's
No.
No?
I wish they had
No.
babies. Honestly, I wish they had stuff for cough, for like stomach buds. But no, yeah, the nose Frida, that's a great. You get over the gag reflex quick, and it just
Yeah.
a lifesaver after that.
Well, I think when you have a newborn, you have to get over the
Yes.
gag
Yeah.
reflex really
True.
fast.
Yeah, the nose Frida is like one of the easier things, I feel like.
Becca, you saying that, it made me think of also like a boppy pillow, because I'm picturing when my kids were little on their little boppy pillow, sucking them with the Frida. So, but a boppy pillow, not only is it good to help, like you're holding your baby on your lap and you can sit them there on you and you're more comfortable. But if maybe you need a 4-minute power nap on the floor, you also can put your head on it. And that's really great for the mom. So maybe.
And what is, if you, let's say someone on the pod doesn't know what that meant. I'm not saying it's me, but let's just say they don't know what that is. What is a
so it's
style pillow?
It's a like a half circle, like a crescent moon, is that the right word? Yeah. Shaped pillow that they're really good for like nursing, but also you can just set your baby on. Like you could basically wear it around your waist if you wanted, like an inner tube kind of, and set your little baby there, and it's just very comfortable. Or when they get a little bit older, you can also like sit them in there, and that way they're protected. So when they can't really hold their little bodies up and they fall over, they're protected by this pillow. Or there's something really wonderful, it's not wonderful, called tummy time, because most kids hate it, and you have to put them on their tummy, and they have to learn how to keep their neck strong. And the boppy pillow, you can also lay them on there to do tummy time, which my kids really hated. And I hope other people love tummy time more than we did at our house. So, but they're very convenient for a lot of things, and also for a pillow for mom.
So multi-use.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they come in fun colors. So that's fun.
Yeah. Is it like the airplane pillow thing? Is that
Yes,
like,
it's like
a big version
It's
of
like
that.
that bigger
Yep.
version
bigger
of that.
version?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, instead of it going around your neck, it goes around your waist.
Okay.
Slightly bigger.
Yeah.
And it is very nice for nursing, because when I was going through with my first, there are multiple different ways to nurse. And so the boppy pillow is really nice because she liked to be held like a little football. And so you tuck her in like this. And the boppy pillow is nice, so I didn't have to like constantly support
using arm
her.
strength.
Yeah.
the whole entire
Yes.
time.
So it's really nice for that.
Yeah. Well, these have been some really good tips. I think we're getting a lot out of this. Okay. I wonder if we can pivot a little bit to the nursery. I think it's one of maybe the more fun parts for a lot of people, because you get a chance to like decorate. It's like this, I don't know, what's the term for it, where you're just kind of like nesting. That's right. Yeah. So talk to us a little bit about like what elements you may consider when setting up like that cozy and functional nursery.
Well, my biggest tip is get a very good, comfy recliner. Because you are going to spend a lot of time in it. And so make sure that you have one that is cozy, comfy, big enough for you. If you have older kids and you're having another baby, make sure it'll fit them in there too.
Okay.
Because the other kids will also want to snuggle up while you're feeding the baby. So comfy recliner. I don't know. I think that nurseries are a really fun way to get creative. You don't decorate a nursery the same way that you decorate the rest of your house. And so you get to be more playful and have fun with colors and stuff. And so I feel like when it comes to a nursery, just go crazy. I feel like it's very trendy of doing like the beige and everything, like very monochrome, but it's a fun space for that the baby is going to grow into. And so you want to keep that in mind too, so that you're not having to do a complete overhaul every year for the next 5 years, So,
Yeah. What have you done in you're from the visual side, I'm sure you kind of got super into it. I can only imagine. I'd be curious to know like how you set up your space.
Like with my kids?
Yeah.
Well, I have 2 boys. And so when I first started and I was in the baby department, the first thing that I did here was I redid all of the girl rooms. Because I was like, I don't get to do this at home. Like I want an outlet where I can put pink just everywhere. But yeah, at home, my boys, I try and keep it something that is, well, I guess if we're going back to when they were babies, when they were babies, it was kind of, we had their crib, we had a recliner, we had our changing table, we had, all of the things. But honestly, for their nursery, we didn't even use their nursery for the first like 6 months. That they were alive. So, but yeah, it kind of just evolves into whatever they're interested in as they get older. But when they're babies, like I had boys, so we had jungle. It was all jungle themed, and we had the lions and the little tent that you can, little reading tent, and so all of that stuff.
I love it. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's painting a picture for me.
Yeah, just jungle. That's
Yeah.
what it was.
Yeah. Cool. I like it.
I like that you brought up that you didn't spend, the first 6 months there, because I remember when I had my first kiddo, I was very concerned about the nursery has to be set up. This baby's going to come home and you don't realize that they're going to sleep in a bassinet next to you in, your bedroom, and they're not going to sleep in their crib for a while. So that was a lesson learned that I didn't need to panic. However, I spent a ton of time in the nursery between like nursing or just, your kid gets overstimulated and you want your baby to be kind of separated. And so I felt like the nursery became a really nice space for me and my boys, because we spent so much time there, whether it was 2:00 in the morning or 2 in the afternoon. So we had a lot of nice like lighting and different lamps and different things like that we could turn on based off the time of day, and a little bookshelf for me with books and snacks, lots and lots of snacks and all of those different things. But, I just feel like your nursery should be somewhere that you yourself want to spend time and just feel cozy in, because you are going to spend a lot of time in there just cuddling your little dude or little girl. So
Dudette.
Yeah, I'll piggyback on that too. Yes, I didn't realize you were not going to spend like the first 4 months. I think once they start rolling over, then we moved our kids to the crib. But I think another good point was enjoy like decorating and
Mhm.
do it with, if you have a partner, involve them. Me and my husband with our first, we didn't find out what our kids were, so our nurseries were very neutral. And my first is a girl, and even now she still has the decals that we put, because I like foxes, so we did fox theme. And she still carries around. I think I have passed that on to her, because she has a little stuffed animal she's had since she's a baby. She named it Foxy, and guess what? It's a fox. And yes, she loves it, and she still carries it around to this day. And so, but sometimes when I'm in there now, she's got a big girl bed. And another pro tip, get like a twin bed, because you're going to be in there with them when they transition.
Mhm.
But I'll be in there with her, and I just looked at the details that were on there. I just remember me and my husband having fun, just like putting them up and painting her room. My mother-in-law came over to paint her room too. And so it's also just, especially after an overwhelming day with your children, just looking around and just remembering the time before when you were just getting ready for these little people. And it's just a nice memory. It's kind of a nice way to relax, and kind of speaking back to the overwhelm. Sometimes it's just nice to stop and remember a time when, everybody was we're always so excited for our children, but I think there's something to be said about excited for the first one, scared, excited, all that thing. And so, or all those things. And so it's really nice to just think about the time when the weekend we took to paint and put details up and shop for details, and just little things that we did to prepare for her.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah. Really painted a picture there. It's very emotional. And
I'm
Yeah.
look, I'm 8 months postpartum, so I'm very emotional.
I can only guess. So, any other thoughts on like nurseries? Anything that we didn't touch on that you think is super important for that space?
I think just don't stress about it.
Yes.
Like it. I feel like when you're having your first baby, you're so overwhelmed of the unknown and trying to make sure that everything is ready, and the nesting and all of that stuff. But I mean, really, you have time and to just enjoy it and don't stress about it.
Make it functional.
Yeah.
I'll add one on just a piece of furniture in your nursery that I had a lot of friends that had actual changing tables, like to do diaper changes on.
Mhm.
And I was able to get my first kiddo had the dresser that had like the changing table on top. And that was really great, because, it was nice to be tall and have that changing table for a while. But as soon as they're done, now it's just a dresser.
Mhm.
And my
Smart, yeah.
second kiddo, he has like a little play cube kind of thing that also had a diaper changing thing on the top that we took off. And now all of his little stuffies and his books and stuff are in there. So, they make a lot of furniture now that has multi-purpose that grows with them. And I think that's really fantastic for parents. So.
Yeah, I wanted to ask about that. I know I don't know much about babies, but I know it with cribs, they're often available with the like conversion kits or convertible kits where it becomes a crib, then a toddler bed, and even I think maybe a twin bed beyond that, or full bed, full size bed. Is that necessary?
That is how ours is. It has so far never been anything but a crib. So I'm not sure, just because it's been passed along. But it's nice to know that there's options, because, things like that are you're a new parent. The last thing you want to do is go spend a lot of money on a lot of different stuff. So knowing that it can grow with you and your child, I think has just a lot of comfort for us. So maybe I'll let you know.
My kids all had toddler, like they use their cribs and they turned into like a toddler bed and then a full-size bed. And I will say one of my kids still has his full-size bed, but it is nice because if you buy like a dresser or whatever matches, you don't have to go buy all new stuff for them. They can get into like a normal size bed, I feel like, without having to buy everyp new. So
not buying 3 separate bedroom sets.
Right. Yeah, I was gonna say mine were back to back, and so I had to double up pretty quick. So the crib, once it got used, then we moved on to bunk beds as soon as we could.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I'd love to talk about just the rest of the home in general, right? So, baby proofing, I think, is super important as they're getting a little bit older. Any tips for that don't like sacrifice style and comfort?
That don't sacrifice style.
Yes, that's a tough. The style part is the tough one, because I will say our house kind of looks like an insane asylum. We padded our living room did. So we got these little. Sorry, I'm gonna jump in. We got these puzzle pieces. They're like mats, but they look like puzzle pieces. So you put them together, and you can put them on like if you have like rough floors, or we use it on our deck. And then the kid or the baby can just crawl on it. Well, those are also nice for if you have a fireplace and the kid decides, hey, I see this fireplace, I'm going to get in it. You just put them in front of that. And then we all have like our router on the ground. And so lots of flashing lights. So we had to like put our, all these puzzle pieces around. So literally there's like puzzle piece building sets everywhere in our living room. So I can't say that style was our best, but it was very functional, and still highly recommend those puzzle things because they are easy. Yeah, it deters them because they just don't know it's there because they just see the puzzle pieces.
Also a barricade.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, also barricade. So yeah, we kind of always joke that our house looked a little bit crazy, or at least our living room did. But it was good.
I'll jump in for like kitchens, because my boys, they want to just hang on every drawer and open everything. And they make really wonderful little baby proof things that go, behind the cabinet or inside the drawer that you don't see. And I think that's really nice, because then you don't have to at least have your kitchen look like an asylum and all of that. So that's nice. And they're easy to install, and they don't mess up your cabinets, and they look good. So
yeah, I'm picturing those like industrial zip ties.
Yes. I will say though, we always kept like one cupboard that with like the Tupperware, like plastic things that they could get into, because they like really want to get in there, and
That's
they
smart.
love. Like I mean, I feel like they loved the Tupperware drawer the most, better than toys.
And it's already
Yeah.
chaotic.
Yeah.
You can't make it any worse, really.
Yes. Probably get multiple of those lots, because yes, we also have we have the ones, they're like a little hook and they go inside so they can't open them. Well, we also forget that they're there, so we'll just yank that open. So, but most of them come in lots of light. You can get like 100 for not that. It wasn't that expensive, but yeah, you will also break them.
I'll
be forgetting.
I'll tell you, in the spirit of kids being so different and not all alike, my 5-year-old, he just was easy. He was like, I don't need all that baby proof stuff. Like, I'm good. I'm solid. And my 2-year-old, he's like, you are not baby proofed enough, and you need to step it up. So they're just very different, and you just never know.
Yeah, and as far as sacrificing style, I think that's something that you kind of just have to do as a new parent.
Yeah.
I'm sure that there are things out there that you can baby proof and not have to. They're few and far between, though. A lot of it, I do know that they make baby gates that now are just like the plexiglass, which those always look a lot nicer. And so that's something that, it gives you kind of more of like a modern look without it being so obvious that it's a baby gate. But most things like the outlet covers, like all of those things,
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's 100% fair. Okay, so we're getting close to the end of our time. I wonder if we can just kind of go around the room and talk a little bit about just general advice. Anything that we didn't touch on that you think is going to be super, super important for prepping for baby? Who wants to start? Risa?
Oh, okay. Oh man, put me on the spot.
No, you'll do great.
Yeah, I think just kind of echoing what we said. I think social media, be careful, because social media, I think we tend to forget, especially I have to remind myself even now, is a highlight reel and not totally the reality. So it's really easy to fall down the rabbit hole of like, oh my gosh, my kid is very similar to this and they're not doing this. And I think that's what I struggle with the most. So my advice would be, I'm going to hopefully take my own advice, but just remember it's a highlight reel. Everybody has the good days and the bad days, but you're doing great. If your kids are fed healthy, you are doing just fine. Don't let everyone overwhelm you with the highlight reels.
Yeah, love that. Yeah.
My advice is just be vulnerable and transparent and talk to people. And I feel like you think it's taboo to say to somebody, I don't know if I'm doing okay. I need to talk to somebody. And people are really scared to say that. But the vast majority of new parents are feeling that overwhelmed feeling and will be there to talk to you through it and help you through it. So, do that and just love your babies. Just love your babies. As long as you're loving your babies and feeding them, like you said, you're nailing it. And love yourself. Take care of yourself and be open to what you truly need as a human being, because it's hard and it's worth it, but it's hard.
Yeah, I think just going off of both of those things, I think that, and going back to community, like really reach out to your community. There's a creator on TikTok that she talks about, I can't remember her name right now, but she talks about how when flamingos have their babies, the mothers often will lose all of the pink in their feathers. Do flamingos have feathers?
So.
Yeah.
They're birds, yeah.
They lose all of their pink, and it's something because it's just such a hard process when you're going through raising little ones. And I think that a lot of moms can relate to that it's so exhausting that you lose your pink. And so just reaching out to your community and knowing that you're doing a great job, and your house is going to be a mess. You're going to be a little bit of a mess. Like, it is okay. And nobody with a newborn baby has ever not felt this. Every single person who has a newborn baby feels this to some level. And yeah, just reach out to your community and love your babies. Yeah.
Love that. And eat salmon. Is that how you get your pink back? Okay. Well, I appreciate you guys all being here. Again, Risa, Alex, Courtney. And of course, I want to thank our co-hosts, Becca and Hilary, our co-producers, Scott and Ann. And then finally, I want to thank you, listeners. Remember to like, subscribe, and check out our new website at nfm.com/podcast to submit questions, photos, whatever you got. It's free advice on all things home life. So just to wrap up, bye for now. But remember, home is what you make it.
Thanks for joining us today for I Am Home with Tyler Weisskopf, Hilary Woltemath, and Becca Sudbeck. No one knows home quite like NFM. So if you'd like more information on home design at NFM, please check out nfm.com and leave us a review on the podcast platform of your choice.